your information. So now, first of all, before you do this next steps, make sure that you just have numbers here, because you have the words like grams, milligrams, calories in your titles, so you don't need to have them here. This data should be numbers. All right, so to total these, you can do this in a series of, you can do it either way here. So you can select C3 through C7 and click the auto sum button, then click in that cell and fill it across, or you can select C3 through G7 and the computer just figures out that you want to add those down. So when you now hit your auto sum, it went ahead and auto summed each row for you. All right, now you're to add some columns. So we are doing step 4. So we're going to add a column between D and E. So it always adds it before. So we're going to select column E. So I just hover my mouse over the E and click, and go up here and click this insert button. And my title here is going to be calories per gram. And the text should go ahead and wrap. If it doesn't, I'll go ahead and tell it to wrap it. And then I might need to make that a little bit bigger. And my formula for this is to take my calories and divide them. So my calories for the first item, and the division sign is that slash with the question mark, by the serving size in grams. So I press enter there. So it's basically a little less than 2.5. So I'll decrease all the decimals here in a minute. So because I used cell references, I should just be able to hover my mouse over E3, get that black cross, and drag down to E6. With those all selected, I'm going to decrease the decimal here to show 2 decimals. All right, my next column that I'm going to enter is between F and G. So this time I'm going to select column G. Go up to insert. I'm going to name this %. So this formula is going to be a little bit different, as you have to use that you have to use that absolute reference there, or just continue to enter the formula each time. So what I'm going to do is take the fat for that item, the total fat for that item, and divide it by the recommended daily allowance here. So equals F3 divided by F8. If I want to be able to fill this, that's when I'm going to do that Fn and strike the F8 key. Oh, F4, sorry. If I want to make that absolute, before I hit enter, I'm going to press and hold on that Fn button and strike F4 at the very top, and that will make that absolute, and press enter. And I can go ahead and make that look like a decimal. Again, because I made it absolute, I could fill that down, or I could just continue to enter it for each of them. F4 divided by F8. F5 divided by F8. And then select all of them and make them look like a % there. All right. Now let's move on to the chart part. So again, you're going to get different numbers because you're using different items. So don't worry about it as long as your formulas are right and it makes sense. So for instance, this number is smaller than 65. So if I came up with something like 200%, that wouldn't make sense because it's not 2 times 65. So just kind of look at your numbers, look at the results, and see if that kind of, if your numbers make sense based on your data.